Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode on the Little Fellas Sports Podcast. So, today we are back with the PL 12th man show as we build up to game week 10 of the Premier League. So, without much ado, let me welcome my guests for this episode, Shreyas, representing Manchester United, and Narayanan, representing Chelsea. We've got some really interesting fixtures coming up in game week 10, some good derbies, and also some very interesting fixtures for the Premier League table point of view. So, as before we begin the episode, please like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and do press the bell icon to stay updated with our content. So, before we begin the preview for Game Week 10, let's start with the Game Week 9 review. So, Narayanan, we had done the Game Week 9 preview before, and where you had made some very bold predictions. How have they turned up in Game Week 9?
So my couple of bold predictions that I made for last game week was one was Spurs win against Manchester City. Spurs actually won against Manchester City, and the other one was a Burnley clean sheet win against Crystal Palace. Another prediction which I made that was Newcastle against Chelsea. Yeah, so we won that game also. Some of the predictions that went wrong were the Liverpool against Leicester. Liverpool played very well that match, so they won 3-0. And so everything was normal only last week, so no huge surprises. Went as expected.
Yeah, okay. Shreyas, coming over to you. What are your takeaways from Game Week 9? Did you find anything surprising?
Yeah, to be very honest, I didn't think Liverpool would perform this well against Leicester City, and they clearly showed that they were a champion side in that game. They played really well, and Leicester, to be very honest, they didn't have really many chances. So that was one takeaway. And another surprising game was Leeds versus Arsenal. I thought Arsenal would again park the bus and manage a victory over Leeds, but they did park the bus, in fact. But unfortunately, with the help of goalposts, they were able to secure a draw. So, yeah. And from a United perspective, it was disappointing actually. We won. We had some solid 4 or 5 chances, but the goal came through a penalty anyway. So, but that was a really disappointing performance, and I was not happy with the team selection too. So I thought Ole was wrong with the team selections. So that's it. I mean, it went well. Yep.
Yeah, fair enough. So that is about Game Week 9 and what our experts think about how that game week went. So coming over to the major topic of this episode, which is previewing the 10th game week this PL season. So we got some really interesting fixtures, as I said before. None more interesting than Chelsea Tottenham, going to be happening at the Bridge. So Narayan, what do you make of this derby fixture? Given the position that Chelsea and Tottenham find themselves in the league table, this fixture is of high importance. More so because it is the master taking on the apprentice with Mourinho against Lampard. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with you, like Krishna. This year, around the fixture has more hype when compared to last year. Um, Last year when we played Mourinho, we did the double over him. Lampard won twice against Mourinho in the league. So this there was not much hype about that match because Chelsea was fighting for top four and Tottenham was a mid-table team. Um, so this was majorly due to that was Mourinho's first half season at Spurs, I think. Yeah. So there was not much hype and many players were injured also. So this year there is so much hype for this game because this game can really give a boost for the team who can be top during Christmas. So that is a very important start when you win the league. So this is going to be a very important fixture. That's why there is so much hype around this fixture, and it's majorly due to both teams being in very good run of form. Like Chelsea are 10 games unbeaten now, already qualified from the Champions League group to the round of 16. So you can say like this also, there are a lot of differences between Mourinho's last year's team and this year's team. So last year they were playing three-man defense, so we neutralized them by playing again a three-man defense. So this year there are a lot of changes you can see in Spurs type of play itself. So when they played three-man defense last year, there was not a lot of movement in the forward areas. The team was static and they couldn't move the ball around as fast as they wanted to. So they couldn't score the amount of goals that they wanted to. So that would be the major difference from last year to this year because Mourinho was playing a three-man defense. Now this year he's switched to the standard Mourinho formation, the 4-2-3-1, which he always plays with two engines at the center of the park. So you can actually see that Mourinho has tweaked his play a little bit compared to the teams he has played before, like with Chelsea and United, etc., where uh, they don't have, they always have a traditional number nine like Costa, Ibrahimovic, etc. So Kane, like compared to last year, this year he's been deployed differently. Like half the time is he's at the center of the park making the passes, and he's kind of a like a second playmaker, we can say. So that is the difference that Mourinho has done. And another difference was that Dele Alli was playing a lot last year. So he was the man who was made to run the lines last year compared to Son. So this year it's solely on human Son. So he's flourishing in that role. And unfortunately for Dele Alli, he's not playing anymore. So going into this game, I think both of them will play the four-man defense. And Toby, of course, Toby is injured and he'll be a major miss for this game because it's going to be a huge difference when we'll see that in the weekend. So when I think this game will be based on a lot of duels that I'd say these duels will decide the game. So one duel I would say will be Reguilon versus Reece James and Kai Havertz, Reece James and Hakim Ziyech on the right hand side because our right hand side is performing very well due to the crosses of Reece James and cut-ins from Hakim Ziyech because both have very good strong foot. Yeah, Hakim Ziyech with the left and Reece James with the right. So I think Reguilon will have a very hard time coping with those two. But Mourinho will already know that, and he'll always deploy a workhorse in the wings to track back and defend them. So thankfully for us, so Son is the one playing the left hand side. So I'm guessing he'll also play Lucas Moura for this game. So for tracking back purposes and cutting down the attack from Chelsea. So another duel which I would want to say that will decide this match was I'll say Kante versus Ndombele, and Ndombele is one of the person who can just look up and find the pass like he did against Manchester City last week for Human Son. So Kante will have to be on his heels like he has been this season. So I think that will be a fairly interesting duel, and Zuma has got to be the one who's going to have to stop the Kane passes coming in through the lines to Son. With his recovery pace, I think he has to cope that up. So when Kane comes into the striker's position, I think Thiago Silva has to deal with him. So overall, this game will be decided in these couple of duels which I said right now, and I think it will be a fairly competitive game. Um, but my prediction for this game will be 2-0 for Chelsea, giving importance to our run of form, and we are playing at the bridge.
Yeah, those are some astute observations. As you said, the matchup game is going to be very crucial when we face Mourinho, and hopefully Chelsea can come out on top. Shreyas, from a neutral perspective, who would you rather see win this game?
Yeah, I actually don't want anyone to win. So probably draw would be a fair result for from a United perspective, and even from a neutral perspective, I want it to be a good game actually. So even when you saw the last time, both Lampard and Mourinho they were fighting, and it was actually something. It was entertaining to see. So such a game would be nice, and both of them, Spurs and Chelsea, are in a very good form, and their football is surprisingly it's very good to watch. So I think it will be a good game. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, so coming over to the Saints Manchester United game. So this is another game of importance because Southampton have had a good start to the league, and Manchester United have had a stop-start kind of form when it comes to the Premier League at least. So in that sense, Shreyas, how do you think this game is going to pan out?
Yeah, definitely. So this will be a tough game for United. There's absolutely no question about that, considering the form that Southampton are in. So even if you see in the last season, uh, they were able to create a lot of chances and they were able to score a lot of goals. So now it's been very good for Ralph Hasenhüttl and நல்லா பெர்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணியிருக்காரு லைக் இந்த ஒரு ஃபைவ் டு சிக்ஸ் கேம்ஸில் ஹீ ஐ மீன் க்ளோஸாக கைட் பண்ணியிருக்காரு சவுத் ஆம்டனோ டாப் ஃபோருக்கு. ஸோ இட் வில் பி அ ரியலி குட் கேம் அண்ட் ஓலே ஹேஸ் டு அகைன் மேக் சம் பிரேவ் டிசிஷன்ஸ். ஐ மீன் நம்ம இதுலேயும் பார்த்தோன்னா ஒரு சென்டர் பேக்ஸ் வந்து கொஞ்சம் சஸ்பெக்டாக இருக்கிறதுனால ஹீ இஸ் பிளேயிங் டூ சிடிஎம்ஸ். ஸோ இந்த லாஸ்ட் கேம் வர்சஸ் இஸ்தான்புல் ஒரு வீக் டீம் அப்படின்றதுனால ஹீ டுக் அ ரிஸ்க் அண்ட் பிளேட் ஃப்ரெட் அண்ட் டானி வேண்டிபீக். ஸோ they were able to create a lot of chances. So he has to take one route, like either full on attack pono or he should be focused on defense and defend very well. ஸோ ரெண்டுமே வந்து ஒழுங்காக இல்லாதப்போ கொஞ்சம் ப்ராப்ளமேட்டிக்காக தான் இருக்குது. ஸோ தட் இஸ் தி மெயின் கன்சர்ன்.
Yeah. So, Shreyas, before we finish off with you, what are your predictions for the Saints United game?
Yeah, I think there won't be a clean sheet this game at least. So for Southampton, both the teams I expect them to score since Southampton they are creating a lot of chances. Even last 2-3 games, pathina they are creating chances through the wings. So that's where United are weak at. So ஒரு கட் பேக் ஆர் கிராஸ் பண்ணி கோல் போகிற மாதிரி நிறையா இருக்குது. ஸோ இங்ஸ் இஸ் ஆல்சோ இன் அ வெரி குட் ஃபார்ம். ஸோ ஐ எக்ஸ்பெக்ட் சவுத் ஆம்டன் டு ஸ்கோர், பட் if Oli plays a good 11, if he selects a good 11, I expect United to win this comfortably. So 2-1 for United would be my prediction.
Yeah, okay. Ings is still injured, by the way, so I don't think United will have to
Oh,
face
okay, yeah,
Danny
fine.
Ings
Then
this game week.
yeah, it's good for United then. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Narayanan, from a neutral perspective, what is your take on this game? If you could come off mute, please.
So coming to Southampton versus Manchester United, yeah, I actually predicted Wolves win last week, 2-0 Wolves win with a clean sheet, but the game drew actually. It was a tale of both keepers actually. Both of the keepers did well last game week to keep it to a draw. So I didn't expect Southampton to play this well, even though Ings is injured. Kudos to Hasenhüttl. He has done a really good job. So I expect this to be a tricky game, even though United are in a very good form away from home. So I'll go for a 2-2 draw for this game. That would be my prediction.
Yeah, okay. So we're done with both the United and Chelsea fixtures. Next, we move to Arsenal Wolves. So Arsenal Wolves is again an interesting fixture for Arsenal because they are coming off a stalemate against Leeds. They're gonna be facing Wolves, who would also like a win under their belt, given that they lost in this game week. So, Shreyas, starting off with you, what do you make of this fixture?
Yeah, this will again be a good game to watch at least. So I think Arteta will be keen to bounce back after a bad game last game week. So my prediction for this game would be a draw again, 1-1 draw. If you want me to put it in a score line. So yeah, that's about it. But yeah, Wolves are in a good run of form. I would actually want Wolves to win, but my prediction would be 1-1 draw.
Narayanan, your take on this game?
So contradicting to what Shreyas said, like they've always trying to bounce back. Like for the last 3-4 game weeks, they've been trying to bounce back, but it's always the same old story. And Aubameyang played as a striker, like all the Arsenal fans wanted last game. It was still the same story. He was not getting enough chances or service to get the goal. They are unless they play a very creative player who can unlock the attack which they have. I don't think Arsenal are going to score many goals. So um, even talking about Wolves, they should have won last game week against Southampton. On paper, it was a fairly easy game for them without Ings on the other side. So I thought they would get a clean sheet, but I think they are also slipping up a bit. So last time when Arsenal Wolves met, Arsenal won the game. So they were in a good form during that time. So taking that into account, and you can't actually take that into account, but I think Wolves will win this game 1-0 is my prediction at the Emirates.
Yeah, so if the Wolves do win the game, then pressure starts mounting on Arteta to look at his team management and whether his on game in game tactics are good enough. So coming over to the next game, Brighton versus Liverpool. Liverpool, we all thought would probably take a hit with all the injuries, but luckily for them, Salah played midweek in the UCL against Atlanta. Wasn't a good game though. Liverpool lost at Anfield, so I guess they have an extra incentive to perform well in the game in the weekend. So Narayan, starting off with you, what do you make of this fixture?
So I was actually surprised, even though they are the champions, I was actually surprised seeing them beat Leicester 3-0 the way that they did actually. So they were literally demolishing Leicester at Anfield. Leicester didn't get any chances to even score a goal, I think. So they were good defensively and offensively as well. So I thought they would carry that into the Champions League, and Salah was also back in that game. But I think they played a different back four against Atlanta, I think, the one that they played at home. So I think they still have a back four that is worthy enough to still stop this Brighton attack, and they have enough firepower in the front to win this game. So I'll go for a 2-0 Liverpool win this week.
Shreyas, what do you make of this fixture for Liverpool?
Yeah, it's second ours here, so I think they'll be back to form when the Premier League starts again. So yeah, I expect this to be a 2-0 or 3-0 Liverpool win.
So that is the call from the analyst then. So it's an easy game for Liverpool. So coming over to another interesting game, Manchester City versus Burnley. Manchester City did not have a good game against Tottenham, but their midweek form was good in the Champions League. So I guess they have they're going into this fixture with some decent returns under their belt, and I guess the biggest positive for Manchester City is they're going there slowly bringing their backline, slowly getting their backline back to fitness. So it'll be interesting to see the backline that Pep might play in this game. Shreyas, what are your thoughts on this Manchester City fixture?
Yeah, I mean, as you told, City are not looking that good as they looked in the previous seasons. But yeah, again, if you see the important players, they're always playing well, like Kyle Walker and even De Bruyne. He, I mean, he's not up to the mark that he was in previous seasons, but he's still playing well. And I think City will be too good for Burnley again. So I'll go with a City win by 2 goals or more.
Narayanan, do you think this Burnley defense can stop a rampant City attack?
I wouldn't call rampant actually because they actually have a negative goal difference right now in the Premier League. So as you said, like they are coming out of a good form from Champions League. It's been the same for the last 4 game weeks in the Champions League. They're always winning 3-0, 2-0, 4-0 in the Champions League, and coming to the league, they are getting smashed by Leicester and a lot of teams actually this year. Leeds they drew, and last week they lost to Spurs very badly, even though they had a lot of shots. Their main I think their main drawback is not their defense coming back. Actually, it's their attack that's not doing well right now because of the striker that they don't have Aguero, right? So when Jesus is there, he's at least doing pretty well, and they're moving forward pretty well. So I think Sterling has to fire, which has to be a major comeback for City so that they break the duck in the Premier League and go back to positive goal difference. So I think this would be a very good game because Pope is also injured, I think, for this game. Even though Burnley kept 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games, and I expected them to get a result like a draw, but I think yeah, City will be too good for them this week. This week has to be the week that City turn it on because they have a couple of good fixtures coming after this, so it has to be this week. So I'm going for a 2-0 City win with KDB and Sterling on the score sheet.
Yeah, so that concludes some of the important fixtures and the analysis for those. So coming over to the remaining five fixtures in the game week, we'll start off with Leicester versus Fulham. So this is a game week that many think Wari is gonna be on the score sheet more than once. That is the general consensus from an FPL point of view. So Shreyas, what do you make of this Leicester Fulham game?
Yeah, I agree with you, Krishna. So, Wadi is the man for this game week. That's my opinion. And of course, Fulham, even they didn't look very good. Uh, they played a little better against Everton last match, but even then, their defense was they conceded 3 goals and was slightly suspect. So, I expect Leicester to win comfortably in this match. Probably a 3-0, I would say.
Narayanan, your thoughts on this fixture?
So after a disappointing performance against Liverpool last week, I think Leicester will be waiting to bounce back, and this is a perfect fixture for them to bounce back in the Premier League again because they were top going into the international break last time around, and suddenly they lost 3-0 and nobody is considering them. So I think this would be a very good game for them to bounce back. So I think it will be an easy game unless like you Leicester playing the Europa League and couple of players getting injured in that and important players. I don't see Fulham winning this game. They're slowly turning it on, but I don't think they have enough to survive in the Premier League. So it's going to be an easy win for Leicester. So same prediction, 3-0.
Yeah, moving on to the next fixture in the pipeline, it's Everton versus Leeds. So Everton Leeds is a tricky fixture because both are equally competitive teams. We've seen Everton slip up their first half advantage in second half to lesser placed teams. I don't think you can do that to Leeds. So Narayan, starting off with you, what do you make of this Everton Leeds fixture?
Yeah, as you pointed out, it's going to be a very interesting fixture. And I'm hearing that Digny is injured for this game. I think he's out for 2 months also. And
Yeah.
he was actually a major part of the Everton build-up in their attack. Him and James Rodriguez are very important for the team. And as I said in the last game week prediction also, Everton has only 111. They don't have any substitutes. So when major players get injured, they'll have a difficult time coping up with that. So the Leeds attack also they play so well. So I think they need the Everton players need to defend better. I think I'll predict Leeds win for this because they've always been hot and cold this season. So whenever they seem to have like lost 3-0 or 4-1 or something like this, they win the next game 3-0 or 2-0. It's always been the story this season. So I think Leeds will win this game. So my prediction is 2-1.
Anything to add to that, Shreyas?
Yeah, I mean, Lars pretty much he covered what all I was to say. But yeah, one point which I wanted to point out was Everton, even in the last game with Dini in the side, I mean, Fulham created a lot of chances in the second half. So yeah, I mean, with the quality of Leeds, I think Leeds are bound to create a lot of chances, and Pickford is also out of form to say. So yeah, I mean, I expect Leeds to win this game.
So coming over to the next game, we have West Ham versus Aston Villa. So Shreyas, what are your calls for this game?
Yeah, so I'll go for a Villa victory, uh, probably 2-1. Yep, with Grealish on the score sheet.
Nars, what are your calls for this game? West Ham versus Villa.
Yeah, like even though Villa lost last game against Brighton 2-1, I think. So I think they'll be without Barkley this week also. He was a major part of their creative playing. So I think West Ham have been winning too much, man. So I think it's gonna be a Villa win this week. That's how Premier League goes actually. we can't see West Ham winning this much. So I think it has to be a narrow. We'll have it this week.
Yeah, okay. So coming out to the penultimate game in this game week, it's Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Narayanan, your take on this fixture?
Crystal Palace versus Newcastle. Yeah, both are parked the best team, so it's gonna be a tight game. I don't see much in this game actually. I don't think Wilson is back. I think I'm not sure. I think he'll be on the bench or be playing.
Yeah, it could be a 50-50 call.
So
Is
I
Zaha
think
back?
Zaha is also not back. Like both of them are missing major
Yeah.
players, so
Yeah,
comes down to the rest of them to do it. So I expect Newcastle to do it this time, contradicting Crystal Palace. So I think it's going to be a Newcastle win this time. 1-0. It's always going to be a 1-0 only. Mostly.
Shreyas, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going for a Palace 1-0 win the same. So yeah, probably Batshuayi on the score sheet. Yeah.
So coming out to the last game, very irrelevant game at that. West Brom versus Sheffield, both languishing in the bottom. So Shreyas, your call for this game?
Yeah, I don't really know, man. Yeah, since I mean, we won versus West Brom only 1-0, so I'll go for a West Brom win 1-0 again. Yeah.
Narayan,
What do you
your
want
call
me to
on this
say,
game?
man?
West Brom versus Sheffield. Um, Panaking Matthias Pereira and the team.
Yeah.
So, so it's a tale of two Chelsea youngsters, I'd say, Conor Gallagher and Ethan Ampadu. So I want both of them to perform well and probably Sheffield to be back in form this week. So I'll go for Sheffield 1-0.
Yeah, back in form and maybe one place higher. That's all they can hope for.
Yeah, they can avoid relegation. No, even then.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah,
big
that's
thing.
that's about the fixtures. So coming out to the player of the week prediction. So I think
Yeah.
both Narayanan and Anirudh did not get their player of the week predictions right last season. So just to be clear for the viewers, we'll be rating the player of the week prediction based on the number of FPL points they gather for that game week. So Naz, I'll start off with you. Who would you pick as your player of the week for game week 10?
If they give 5 bonus points, I would have won last week. Unfortunately, I got only three for Bruno Fernandes. But this week it
Oh,
has to be this week it has to be a close one between City midfielder and Vardy. I think KDB, Sterling, and Vardy will be the three. But it's very close, man. I think I'll go with Vardy.
Okay, Shreyas, who would you pick as your player of the week prediction for this game week?
yeah, I already told you it's Jamie Vardy's week this week. So yeah, can't get an easier game for him. So expect him to score two or more.
Okay, so both the analysts have picked Jamie Vardy as the player of the week. So that concludes another episode on the PL 12th Man Show. Thanks a lot to my guest Narayanan and Shreyas for taking the time out and being a part of this podcast. So we've got a ton of content coming up. The Australia ODI series is going to kick off very soon. We've got a very interesting game week in the PL as well. We have a separate FPL show running as well. So do like, share, subscribe to our channel, and do follow us at the Little Fellas on Twitter and the Little Fellas _podcast on Instagram. Thanks a lot, and we'll be back with another episode. Thank you.